changing my media time every night. I deserve more respect than that, Ruben.
Steve, you start Quentin. I imagine it's matchup based, and also to spread Al's minutes. But then he goes for plus 34. What did you see for him? How did you just kind of ride it a little bit more than you expected, given the way he was playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a pattern for us. I really want to just bring Al off the bench. If he's going to be 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, I'd rather have him come off the bench and be able to close with him if we need to, like we did against Denver. So we'll probably go back and forth between Quentin and BP. For now, just depending on what the center matchup looks like. I thought BP was great. I didn't play him enough in the first half. I think I only got him out there for 9 minutes, and we missed his playmaking. So I gotta do a better job of doing what we did in the second half, which was finding lineups that that they could play make a little bit more. But QP was the story of the game. I mean, fearless out there, hit big shots, played great defense, and couldn't be happier for him or for us for getting Quentin late second round year and a half ago. He's turning into a really good player.
Steve, you guys obviously dominated the third quarter. What did you think the key was defensively during that stretch?
Well, we did a better job of not fouling. We sent James to the line 7 times in the first half and none in the second. And I think we just trusted our coverages and made them, play through us or over the top of us rather than, sending them to the line. So to hold that team to 30 points in the second half, pretty impressive.
Steve, I just wanted to follow up about the defense. You said it there, 30 points in the second half. You held them under 80 for the game. How would you describe the defensive effort, especially on the second night of a back-to-back?
Well, the number one thing we've been trying to hammer home is that our offense can help our defense, and I thought that happened tonight. And it's not just turnovers, but it's playing a connected style of basketball. So as soon as things are a little precarious, make sure Jimmy Butler gets the ball. He settles the game down. He gets fouled. He gets us an open shot. We don't turn it over. So I think the last game and a half, we've been much more purposeful in our play offensively, and that's dramatically helped our defense. So, but besides that, I mean, Draymond Green continues to be one of the great defenders on earth. I thought he controlled that game in the paint with his switching, with his help all over the place. Draymond was brilliant, and I just think we've got a lot of depth to be able to come in with Moses and BP off the bench and Al, Buddy, Gary. We can play a lot of people, and 5 games in 8 days to start the season is pretty rough. So I couldn't be more proud of the guys to not only go 4-1, but to really quickly establish kind of what we want to be and how we want to operate. So it's just a hell of an 8 days, and now obviously we got to head out onto the road and keep getting better.
Steph went to the bench late third. I think you guys were up like 6 or 7. And by the last 3 minutes, it had ballooned to like 15 or 16. How important, particularly, mentioning Jimmy, is that stretch when you can go, away from Steph and you got a double digit.
Yeah, it was a big stretch. I think it might have been, I can't remember if it was late in that quarter when QP hit the big 3, late shot clock. That might have been early fourth. But, with that lineup, you saw it last year. We're playing the same group, to start the fourth quarter and sometimes to finish the third. But, Jimmy and BP kind of anchoring the offense, making sure we're getting Jimmy the ball in his spots and then getting spaced. We can do it with Al now. We can do it with QP. But just the ability to space the floor for Jimmy in those moments without Steph allows him to control the game.
Steve, obviously another incredibly efficient game for Jimmy. The three-pointer isn't his bread and butter by any means, but he's 3 of 4 tonight. He's 8 of 14 on the season from there so far. Have you seen any differences from him when it comes to the 3-point shot?
I just think Jimmy's a guy who doesn't really want to shoot a whole lot of threes, but he takes them in the moment. He kind of feels whether it's a late shot clock or a big moment in the game or seeing how the defense is guarding us. He's very confident from three. It's just kind of like the seventh option for him.
Steve, Draymond was flying around there in that third quarter in that run. I was wondering how much of a factor is it him not having to play center all the time in terms of giving him, I guess, a little bit more energy to have those kinds of those runs, defensive runs.
That's the idea. Last year, obviously, we started him at the 5 the last 30 games or so, and it was great, but it's a lot, and especially against a guy like Zubac who's killed us for years. And so to be able to take Dre off him and have him play center field and guard Zubac with Al and QP, Trace, I think it's a big help for Dre and a big help for us.
Steve, you were plus 18 in the third quarter tonight, plus 12 last night, so plus 30 the last 2 nights. Now that was kind of a calling card of your past teams coming out and dominating third quarters. Are you seeing anything in particular in the third coming out of the half strong, or is it just the way the last couple games have gone?
The last 2 games, it just felt like we had more purpose to our decision-making and, like I said, controlling the flow of the game, not letting things get away from us in transition and making things difficult on our opponent in the half court. And you see how good our defense can be when we're not, in transition. Portland game, first half of Memphis, they were just running the ball, down our throats, and not a whole lot of defense, against 4-on-3s. So we've just done a better job of controlling the action.
Steve, extending on this defense, you mentioned Quentin being a factor on that end, which he clearly was. How much better is he defensively than he was last season? Because it seemed like in the playoffs, teams were going at him, but he's clearly made strides. And how much of a factor is that when you play Jokic in Denver or tonight to have that body you can trust, a big guy you can trust?
Yeah, it's huge. And then to have Al behind him is massive too. So it takes a lot of pressure off Draymond. And just to play bigger with those guys is really helpful. And so I think QP has gotten a lot better. Just he's a worker. He's unbelievably coachable. And, our development coaches have worked with him the last 2 years and really – I think he's taken to that coaching and that work and just gotten better and better.
Hey, Coach. Kawhi Leonard is obviously a great player and plus minuses and everything, but tonight he was, minus 24 and shot a lot. What did you see out there from your defense that kind of made things difficult for him to get going and help them tonight?
Well, we didn't foul him, kept him off the line. He got that really good spurt in the second quarter when they came back from the big deficit, and that was his best moment or best stretch of the game. And I just thought in the second half we did a much better job of keeping our matchup on him, keeping our bigger guys on him. Moses came off the bench, did a nice job. And, just trying to send him to spots where we thought the shots were a little bit tougher. Our guys did a good job of that.
In that same vein, Harden had 20 in the first half, but you held him to 0 points in the second, only got 3 shots up. What was sort of the adjustment there on him?
Well, not fouling was the big deal. We fouled him on the 3, fouled him on a drive, couple drives. And, this is the NBA, 48-minute game, team with Hall of Fame players like the Clippers. I mean, they're gonna have their stretches, and I thought we were able to limit, those hot stretches really to just that, that second quarter. So it was a really good defensive effort overall.